usually try not to exaggerate about things because I'm Cuban and I know we have a tendency to do so, but honestly, I think Snow White might single-handedly ruin Disney's entire 2025.
Disney's enchanted empire is in flames, and Rachel Zegler is at the center of the blaze. Her outspoken comments on the Snow White remake have ignited a fan rebellion, fueling a boycott that's spinning out of control. With a $300 million investment teetering on the edge, reshoots are scrambling to contain the damage, while Zegler's career hangs in the balance. Has Disney finally alienated its audience beyond repair, or is there still a chance to turn this disaster around?
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
Rachel Zegler's remarks about the Snow White remake and the original film have sparked intense backlash, with many fans accusing her of disrespecting a beloved classic. Instead of embracing her role in Disney's legacy, Zegler dismissed the original Snow White as outdated and irrelevant, alienating those who grew up cherishing the story. This isn't the first time a Hollywood star has faced criticism for divisive comments. Brie Larson encountered similar pushback while promoting Captain Marvel, where her emphasis on feminist themes polarized audiences and affected the film's reception. However, Zegler's statements have gone even further, leaving fans questioning why Disney chose her to represent a character so deeply tied to nostalgia and tradition.
Left-wing policies hurt shareholders. In new SEC filing, Disney is now admitting that it's been slapped by its own customers for its far-left social and political...
The Snow White 2025 trailer has set social media ablaze, with fans outraged over the drastic changes to the beloved classic. The Seven Dwarfs, now portrayed as a diverse group, and Snow White's altered backstory have left many feeling that the remake strays too far from its roots. Instead of the timeless fairy tale they expected, audiences saw what they viewed as forced modernity. The backlash echoes the response to The Little Mermaid 2023, where casting choices and updates sparked heated debate. While both projects aim to promote inclusivity, many feel the essence of these stories is being overshadowed by messaging. This growing frustration fuels Disney's reputation for controversial remakes, leaving fans questioning if nostalgia is being sacrificed for corporate agendas.
Let's face it, Disney is not unique in this dilemma. So many studios are facing the same problems, and the lens has just been focused on Disney for some very understandable reason.
Disney's emphasis on diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, has sparked mixed reactions, especially when it seems to come at the cost of storytelling. Critics argue that Snow White 2025's push for representation overshadowed the essence of the original tale, with changes that felt more like box-checking than a tribute to the beloved classic. Warner Brothers faced similar backlash with their Velma remake, where efforts to diversify the cast were criticized for prioritizing messaging over storytelling. While representation is important, fans believe it should enhance, not replace, authenticity. In Snow White's case, these concerns only fueled frustration, as the film drifted further from the simple, timeless story audiences have cherished for generations.
That by the end of December 2023, Disney had already spent a whopping $269.4 million on this live-action Snow White film. That spending alone actually makes it the most expensive live-action Disney project of all time.
Disney has already sunk a staggering $300 million into Snow White 2025, and with reshoots now underway, that number is climbing even higher. The last-minute changes are expected to tack on another $10 to $15 million, raising serious doubts about whether this massive investment can ever be recouped. The situation echoes the financial disaster of John Carter, 2012, a high-budget flop that failed to connect with audiences and left Disney reeling. If Snow White suffers the same fate, the ripple effect could be devastating. Merchandise like dolls, action figures, and apparel could sit unsold in warehouses, collecting dust. Beyond the immediate financial losses, this misstep threatens to shake confidence in Disney's long-standing live-action remake formula, putting its future at risk. Disney's marketing strategy for Snow White 2025 only seemed to fan the flames of controversy. Trailers and posters highlighting drastic changes to the Seven Dwarfs and Snow White's backstory fueled criticism, leaving audiences feeling that Disney was more focused on pushing agendas than respecting the classic. This backlash is reminiscent of Ghostbusters, 2016, where fan concerns were dismissed as misogyny, ultimately alienating the core audience instead of building excitement. To make matters worse, Rachel Zegler's controversial remarks about the original Snow White added more fuel to the fire, turning the film's marketing failures into a full-blown PR crisis. With the budget already overinflated, this is shaping up to be another Little Mermaid-level financial setback, spelling a rough first quarter for Disney. Modern adaptations often struggle to recapture the magic of their originals, and Snow White 2025 appears to be no exception. By rewriting core elements, Disney risks alienating fans who treasure the simplicity and nostalgia of the original story. This mirrors the failure of Charlie's Angels, 2019, which modernized its premise but lost its audience in the process, resulting in a disappointing box office run. When changes overshadow the heart of a story, the end product can feel more like a lecture than entertainment. In Snow White's case, these concerns have only amplified skepticism about Disney's live-action direction, putting pressure on future projects to avoid making the same costly mistakes. In a desperate attempt to salvage Snow White 2025, Disney has turned to costly reshoots and a complete marketing overhaul just months before release. This last-minute scramble mirrors Sony's The Interview, 2014 fiasco, where late-stage controversies forced chaotic adjustments and uncertain distribution plans. These reshoots are an expensive gamble, adding millions to an already bloated budget, while firing the marketing team feels like a superficial fix to a much deeper issue. The panic-driven moves highlight Disney's ongoing struggle to adapt its live-action strategy as audiences grow increasingly wary of remakes that prioritize messaging over storytelling. With Snow White becoming a cautionary tale, the future of Disney's live-action division now hangs in the balance. Rachel Zegler's outspoken comments about Snow White haven't just hurt the film, they may have permanently damaged her career. Reports suggest that many producers are now avoiding her, fearing similar controversies. This situation mirrors Katherine Heigl's downfall after she publicly criticized Grey's Anatomy and Knocked Up, alienating both fans and industry professionals. Zegler's remarks dismissing the original Snow White as outdated have not only angered audiences, but also raised doubts about her viability in high-profile roles. While she remains tied to the ongoing reshoots, her career trajectory is now uncertain. The controversy surrounding this project could define her reputation for years, making these reshoots a pivotal moment that could either stabilize or further jeopardize her future in Hollywood. Disney's struggles with Snow White 2025 may force the studio to reconsider its reliance on live-action remakes. Audiences are growing weary of reboots that prioritize modern messaging over the timeless charm of the originals. The success of Frozen serves as a reminder that fresh, original storytelling can still captivate audiences and create new cultural touchpoints without tampering with beloved classics. While live-action adaptations have had occasional hits, the growing backlash suggests Disney may need to shift toward crafting entirely new stories to rebuild trust. This debacle could mark a turning point, pushing the company to find a better balance between innovation and nostalgia while staying true to the essence of its cherished tales in future projects. What kind of videos would you like to see on this channel? Let us know in the comments below.